Alright, pussies, welcome back to practicing portraits. Right, an artwod workout. Artwod being the best platform in the fucking universe to learn drawing from draftsmanship. Drawing from draftsmanship? What the fuck? Drawing from imagination or, good draftsmanship. Link in description. I'm not affiliated, I'm just a huge dick rider, right? I mean, this channel exists to prove, apart from many other things, that their methods are literally the best methods to become a good draftsman or excellent draftsman. Right, what are we doing? We're looking at a reference image, portrait reference that I have on my iPad. To the left, we're projecting a box onto that image, and then we're placing the box, we're drawing the box as accurately as we can, of which we believe the perspective of the portrait resides. Then, to go for the extra mile, which is purely something I'm doing, that is not required, but I would encourage you to do it, I am projecting a sphere inside the box, and then the center lines of that sphere, vertical and horizontal, inside the sphere, inside the box, and then we're turning that into, I mean, I say helmet, but really it's just about wrapping hard surface type shapes, multiple rounding, single rounding, carving, right? Twisting, carving cylinders, boxes, onto that consistently maintained sphere, which is inside the box, following those center lines. That sounds fucking hard. It is extremely hard, right? So, yeah, that's it. But let's put a lot of effort in. Let's get the fucking effort going. So again, I'm looking at this portrait and I'm trying to hold the projection of the box that I see as much as I can, and then I'm gonna just draw it. I mean, I say just draw it, but while I draw it, I'm gonna do my absolute best to see a sphere inside this box. It is not easy, probably one of the most difficult things that I'll have to do, but it's a skill which I find to be very, very beneficial. Right, very beneficial. So it's all about perspective at the end of the day, right? The better your perspective skills, the better your everything skills when it comes to line and form, right? Making things believable. So yeah, get the fuck off whatever you're on. I mean, if you're still here at this point, you might as well just draw along, all right? Or get off your bed and draw along. Just fucking draw. There's zero merit to you just listening to me talk, because we all know I'm an extremely slow drawer. We all know that you will not be entertained by what I have to give to you, right? Give unto thee, until I'm really good, So you might as well give me retention, give me give me likes, subscriptions, but also draw along and improve your own skill while you're at it, because literally there's 0 point to watching me. I mean, if you're entertained, go ahead. If you're educated, go ahead. Right? Some people seem to use me as I think that's like slightly diverging. I know I have one commenter, I bring them up every now and then, who watches me while they eat. Truly a sad life, but a life nonetheless, and a life I encourage if it means that I'm profiting from it. So, like, thank you, like, what is it, ooh, right? Thank you so much for your support. It's my baby voice. I use that on my girlfriend all the time. When she runs away, that's when the bat comes out. In Minecraft, simple as that. Soon it won't have to be Minecraft, it can be GTA 6. But until then. Okay, so I believe this is a more accurate box. Putting the sphere inside this box was basically non-existent while I was drawing it. I actually do have a slight headache, I'm not sure why. Perhaps it's all the effort I'm putting into visualizing, perhaps I'm just an absolute pussy, but we will have to see. And I think this is actually extended a bit outward. This is a bit longer, right? So that is something I have to keep in mind. But just gotta keep trying to visualize the sphere inside this box, even while I draw the center line, right? Keep trying to visualize the contours, or sorry, the center, like the center contour, right? The vertical and horizontal, while I try to draw everything that you see here, right? Because that is the most difficult skill, is to visualize. The most difficult skill is to visualize, but to be consistently visualize, continue to visualize, whilst you are drawing, while applying. Visualizing is one thing, which is extremely difficult, right? It's a subset of skills to project essentially something that doesn't exist onto something that is tangible, in this case a paper, right? That's an extremely difficult skill. And then on top of that, we have to apply, which is also extremely difficult, because you're not just applying. It's like this. You just lose the visualization like that the second you start applying, right? If you resonate with that, then you're equally as average as I am, and we have to equally put in 10 times the work that other people do. in order to make up for it. If that sounds unfair, it isn't, because you're building the character of someone who can put in 10 times the work, and that has value in and of itself, right? So, do not fret. Hard work never goes to waste. Granted, you try to learn from your hard work, and you try to enjoy the hard work, right? Again, it's all about the character that you're building, right? I'm not building art skills, I'm building someone who can continue to practice art skills with no reward, right? This entire session yielded to and I mean, to be honest, every single session of mine probably yields very little reward if you're just taking it at surface level, right? Every single session of mine. But it's the cumulative effort of those sessions, and effort is, again, the only thing we're able to control. It is the cumulative effort of those sessions which results in compounding effect, right? Never underestimate your ability to compound, right? Your efforts. And if you do underestimate it, go back 200 videos of mine and then look at what I was drawing then, and I'll look at what I'm drawing now. And in the future, if you're watching from the future, just look at what I'm drawing, whatever the future is, like whatever that is, fucking 3 years, 4 years, 10 years from now, and then look at this. So there's your fucking answer, right? I wonder how he did it. He simply never gave up and kept fucking trying, no matter what, because he believed that trying was all that he could do. There you go. I'm well aware that my words don't mean anything now. You know, there are very few very kind people, right, who pull up on my streams, say nice things, right? Encourage me, which I do always appreciate. Encourage. What the fuck am I saying? Encouragement. Yeah. What am I saying? But again, like, I don't expect encouragement. It is nice when I receive it, but it is not the primary source of my motivation, because motivation is not really part of the equation, right? But if I were to motivate myself, thinking about what I'm doing this for, which, if you know me, right, if you know my channel, if you know who I am, Animorphs. The Animorphs fan manga / comic. That is my penultimate goal. So therefore, everything that I do is to create the best fan comic of all time, equally as fucking gritty and dark as the original series was. Now, if you're like, what the fuck, Animorphs, the book with the derpy animal covers? Yes, you missed out on one of the greatest war stories ever told, right? In my biased opinion, right? But anybody who listens and actually did read Animorphs, I don't need to convince you. You already know what the fuck I'm talking about. With its flaws and all, we already all know it's fucking amazing, right? It's not perfect, but it's fucking amazing. And I'll simply bring it to life. And I feel as if it almost sounds egotistical. It is egotistical, but like, because I'm working so hard, because I have this grand vision for Animorphs, right? There's this part of me that's like, it was meant for me. The reason Animorphs has never been rebooted, the reason it's just been stuck and forgotten, and it's possibly going to die with a certain generation in their memories, is because it's been waiting for me. It's all my destiny, right? Like, it's all waiting for me. But, you know, that's not true. But it's nice to give myself a grand little story like that, right? It's not a true story, but it's nice to give myself that story nonetheless, because it makes me even, like, and again, I read Animorphs, but when I was reading Animorphs, the 5th book in, I decided, because that's when I started learning art. I decided, I'm like, okay, I am going to create the Animorphs manga. It's gonna be a mix of Berserk, One Punch Man, Vinland Saga, original fairy tale, like early fairy tale chapters where the art was really nice and gritty, right? Missing a few, right? Sun Can Rock, The Breaker, New Waves, right? Just anything fucking epic art, just anything epic art, right? Just like intensely fucking good, you know? Yeah, that's my life goal, right? So once I decided I was gonna do that, I started visualizing and reading the book in comic page format, or in manga format. So imagine every fucking page, like not even every page, sorry, imagine every sentence was like a manga panel that I saw in my head, right? So the books are like 80 to 100 pages. Every book adaptation is gonna be like easily 200-300 pages. So again, will I do this in my lifetime? Who knows? But I'm gonna die trying. I'm going to die trying. It's as simple as that. That's why I'm putting in all this fucking effort right now, because I'm going to die trying, right? So if I'm going to die, then I'm gonna try. Bars. Draw along, please, for the love of God, draw along. Don't let this be your fucking background. Okay, let's see. Right. trying to see this. Yeah, seeing the box is definitely very helpful here. But I'm just trying to think in terms of shapes. Because I do go look on Pinterest and I'll be like, this looks cool, that looks cool, what kind of design can I do? But it's very easy to just be like, oh yes, design. It's very easy to just be like, yes, I'll design it like this. But it's a completely different story to actually design it like that. Right? Like to give it that purpose that it requires, you know? That's why I'm just trying to think about form wrapping shapes roughly around this sphere that I'm trying to see, and it's very difficult. And I'm going to take more time than I did in the prior hour, which is because I really only want to do 2 reps for this session. So it's been 10 minutes. So like, again, expect this to take very long. I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to educate myself. I'm here to learn. I'm here to practice. Here to put an effort. And by proxy of me simply continuing, I will inspire. Not now, years from now, but I will inspire. It is a guaranteed fact. Right? We're all inspired by effort, and we're all inspired by those who seem to be reflective of us. And I'm telling you, I'm average as fuck. Okay, look how much effort I'm putting in just to try to visualize a sphere, a sphere inside the box, and then center lines inside the sphere inside the box. My goal is to be able to do that like it's nothing, right? So for an average individual like myself, or below average individual like myself, to be able to do it like it's nothing it doesn't take ordinary effort. It takes extraordinary effort, right? You cannot beat or best those who may have affinities towards skills within a domain that you have interest in. But if you yourself are average, you must put in extraordinary amounts of effort. It is the only way. I'm just trying to think. Of a design. Well, I do like armor plating, or like plating in general. So why don't we... And I know I keep doing this fucking diagonal shit. I'm well aware. But like now I gotta think about, again, that perfect sphere, right? I gotta think about the perfect sphere inside this box. So we have to be careful. Right? Because it's very easy to lose track. Know what I mean? And by lose track, I mean to literally lose the fucking sphere itself. If that's what the armor plating is going to be, what do I want else? What do I want else? What else do I want? Okay. You know what? Maybe we'll do something like this. If that's here, then this is here. And again, I do need to be more decisive with my lines. Definitely need to be a bit more decisive with my lines. But it's all a slow learning journey. And I would rather it be a slow learning journey than something where I learn fast. Because those who learn fast do not learn, they give up. You know? And that may be a cope. I can very well confidently say that could easily be a cope, right? Oh, the people who learn better, well, actually don't do it, don't stick to it. But everything I've seen in my life tells me, like, I've just seen people who, when they learn things quickly, they don't stick to it, right? People who learn things fast in general don't stick to it, which is why it's actually admirable when someone, hard work beats talent when talent works hard. But the whole when talent works hard, i.e. when someone who picks something up which they have an affinity towards and they stick with it, those people, like, it is actually admirable that they actually stuck with it, because 90% of the fucking time, these people don't stick with it because hubris, pride, ego, oh, I can do it so easily. I know so many fucking people at this point, like even artists, like I've seen online, I've seen like in person as well, not just artists, but people who get good at something fast, and then because they get good at something fast, they stop doing it. They're like, because it's like that thing where it's like, oh, I can always pick it up because I can get good fast, so I don't need to put in all this effort now. Right? And at the end of the day, again, extraordinary amounts of effort. Right? That's the only thing we can control. So it doesn't even matter if someone is, quote unquote, better or learning faster. Simply try harder, work smarter, work more, right? I don't know anybody else who's only practicing fundamentals like me, right? I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands of people out there, but who's cataloging it? I don't know anybody, right? So I'm simply gonna work harder than them, right? And then when some retard calls me talented, I'll be like, hey, here's this YouTube channel, you know? Oh, isn't it crazy? They have 1,800 videos out. Oh shit, dude, have you noticed each video is an hour long? Oh, it says it's an art progress channel, and oh shit, they're demystifying the progress. Oh shit. Oh, you are a fucking idiot because I'm not talented. This is right. So that's just the way I see it. And again, I know people, I know people may not mean insidious things from the word talent, but I hate that word. I just hate it. That word literally fucking. I grew up with that word constantly making me think that I couldn't do things. I think, please, allow me the reprieve of disliking a word that basically completely influenced how I viewed my ability to achieve, right? Please allow me, right? Okay, so this is around a sphere. Again, it's really hard to see the sphere. It's really, really hard. But if it is around a sphere, maybe I could do something like this. Oh, see, like I lost the perspective, right? But I'm gaining it back now. Something like this. There you go. There you go. And let's see. Here, something like that. Right. Is that accurate? No, that's not accurate. I got this, but this one's actually, yeah, this is, so that's incorrect, incorrect horizontal perspective, because this is wrong. Vertical one could still go pretty well, but now this box has changed. Actually, no, what am I saying? Yeah, no, it is wrong, my bad, it is wrong, it is wrong. So yeah, the orientation of this sphere has changed now. The perspective is more like this. Like, yeah, like that. That's okay, because that's life. I'm just trying to think, because there are obviously little things I can do to make this seem a bit more interesting, even though I hate that fucking word, because I've never learned anything from that word. Right, make it interesting. All right, can you tell me how? Make it interesting. But yeah, like, can you tell me how? Make it interesting. And I get it, like, it's experimentation. I understand that. But I feel as if some principles towards interesting need to at least exist. See, like, what did I do here? It doesn't look good. But why doesn't look good? Is it because, like, it's awkward? Yeah, it's awkward, it juts out. There's, like, this weird middle part that doesn't really make much sense. Right? Principles of design. Again, while I'm thinking about the box and the sphere inside the box and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box, I'm also trying to think about design, right? So, lots of things. And the sphere is not even perfect, but it's okay. Okay, so clearly I just gotta commit at some point. Something like that. Right? There you go. Guess I didn't really... Not I guess, I definitely didn't make this look compelling enough. Right? Now what can I do here? Just looks stupid. It just looks fucking dumb. But gotta figure something out, right? Because this sphere actually could be a bit. Yeah, it's actually could be a little bit bigger. Never mind. Never mind. See, I'm starting to learn that. I'm at least trying to visualize the appropriate size for the sphere as well. This is probably the most difficult skill I've had to attain thus far. Visualizing 3 layers of perspective, like absolutely thus far, the most difficult skill I've had to attain. That's why it's extremely worth it. Let's see. I don't want to do the exact same thing as that. So how could this fit in here? Something like... something like that. Maybe it goes through. I don't fucking know. Doesn't really make much sense. Let's see. I clearly didn't think about this one properly, but let's just try to complete it. There you go. Whatever. Right. And again, if we're thinking about the contour, that's the more appropriate ellipse. Just trying to make something that fits. There you go. Kind of looks like a miner's hat, which is cool in a way, I guess. Right. But I do want, again, I do want to have more consistency regarding the what's it called? What the fuck am I trying to say? What the fuck am I trying to say? The logic behind it, right? So again, this is a sphere. So I could do something like this, right? And it's gonna be brought back here. So something like that could be done. Now there's opportunity here as well, right? First, I could round this or give it like some sort of, yeah, some sort of edge, which I believe is a rounding of sorts. Why does my voice sound so nasally? A rounding of sorts. I speak like this at all times. And then, I'm trying to think. Well, big, medium, small as well. So maybe the shapes in here are actually indented, because it all is going towards sphere at the end of the day, right? So I'm trying to think. Perhaps. There you go. Something like that. Right? We want to make it more accurate to the perspective. Just trying to think. What else? There's this thing. This thing's actually off perspective. Yeah, I actually fucked it up. It's actually off perspective. Let's see if I can fix it a little bit. Nope. Okay, it's not being fixed. That's okay. It's off perspective. It's what it is. I just got to... Well, the thing is, this doesn't really make any sense. It's just like something that's attached. So maybe we could just attach it here as well. Right? This doesn't really make much sense. Or maybe we could attach it here as well. There you go. Something like that. There you go. Now that's definitely more solidified. I'd like to believe. Right? It's attached inside the helmet. And for the sake of following the contour, could just do something like this. Because that follows the contour, that follows it this way. And I could just have this go follow this like so. And then maybe have something that juts out. Right? Again, try to really keep that sphere and the consistency of the sphere in mind. And what shape do we want here? Well, first, I'm trying to think, what do I want here? Okay, maybe I want this like deep in this. Right? Try to keep that perspective aligned. Yeah, try to keep the perspective aligned. Fuck it, it's gonna jet out a little bit, obviously. Right? This is already a little bit better, to be honest. And we'll just for the sake of making it kind of look interesting. And by interesting, okay, like what am I doing to make it look interesting? I'm just following the contour and creating stripes based on this convex shape. Or is this concave? Whatever, you understand what I'm trying to say. I think this is concave, right? Convex is when it's jutting out, I believe. Like technically this is convex. Like right, this. But funny enough, this probably ended up coming off perspective. This right here. Right? That probably ended up coming off center. See, now this is exactly how much time I wanted to take to do this. Now that I feel a lot better about, like how much effort I'm putting into this. But now it's like, okay, what is the bottom shape? I see a lot of nice big shapes that are used for this type of stuff. So let me just try following suit. Let me just try it. Let me think first, right? So let's do something like this. That's the perspective being established. Right? And then this is right in the middle here. This is right in the middle there. If this goes back here. Okay, well, this is where I actually fucked up. Ah, there you go. See, perspective issue. This and this are misaligned. Yeah, they're misaligned. Okay, so it's going to be a misalignment either way. So I guess to mitigate that, I shouldn't be connecting it too much. Let's see, we got that, and then we can just... See, and you'll see my lines are like pretty bad. Right? But it's okay. There you go. You know, generic fucking grill lines that I've always been doing there, right? It's you know, it's all work in progress. But there you go. A little mini cylinder there. Maybe like an accent here. Okay, well, over detailed as shit, over designed as shit, and honestly missing a lot of decent functionality. I mean, hold up, I could actually probably bring this back a little bit. I don't know. It kind of went to shit at the end there. But I did definitely try to hold that perspective in a lot more. But this is way over designed. I mean, like this is nonsensical. There's nothing really happening here. So obviously I still want to focus on clear shapes. But I am proud of myself for being able to hold that sphere and see the perspective a lot more. But now it's getting smaller. Whereas before, like this was the size, right? Now it's, is it smaller, right? It's definitely smaller compared to this. So this just comes down to me being able to see a sphere a lot better. And that's what I need to work on as well. I need to see a perfect sphere a lot better. And that means the box has to be bigger as well. But let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well, and then we'll get back to it. Yeah, goddamn. This is a doozy, as they say, right? Doozy of a session. Okay, I'll do one here, and then one down here, and that'll be it. Alright, cool. Yeah, it is actually really difficult to draw mech stuff, to be honest. It's really difficult. I'm trying to do that thing where I observe and then I try to recall, because recall is really important when it comes to learning. But at the same time, it's probably best that I actually do practice drawing these things in general, because it's hard to recall everything I'm seeing. Well, that's just bitching, and excuses aside, right? Let's get a nice sized box going. Pretty sure I got the perspective relatively accurate, right? So I just gotta project a sphere into an accurate sizing for this box, right? Accurate sizing. I'm kind of just repeating these terms for myself, so I'm able to think about it clearer. It's not really anything special, but yeah, sphere, box, box, sphere inside the box, right? Let's keep trying to think about that. I've been obsessed with watching, I mentioned this before, but I've been obsessed with watching recently trash isekai. Not as if like they're trash, but just like kind of mid or decent or okay or enjoyable. Just like turn your brain off power fantasy shit. There's a one that's really underrated, which is I got trained by the most powerful team, and now Osan adventurer who got trained by the most powerful team and is now invincible. Some shit like that. Just search it up. It is, dude, like, it is a fucking self-improvement anime. The way this guy talks about just getting the reps in and like the work he put in, because he was just a fucking nobody, just like average, right? Oh man, that shit makes me nut. I loved it. I actually loved it so much. I think at this point, anybody who has listened to my content for even more than like 5 hours knows how much I love self-improvement and how much I love just putting in sheer fucking effort, right? Like, I love that. I've trained myself to live for that, right? So, and again, while I'm talking, I'm drawing, I'm thinking about the sphere, right? So when I watched it, dude, it's so fucking good. It's so good. I fucking love self-improvement shows, and it's hard because there's not many, to be honest. Like, this one is actually my favorite, like this Osan one, because like the words he says and the things like they talk about, which is just you gotta. That's why I said the whole you have to put extraordinary amounts of effort. It literally comes from that show. I'm a fucking like just ripped off the show, you know. He's like, if you're below average, you have to put extraordinary amounts of effort in order to even become slightly above average, right? Which is genuinely how I feel, because I'm fucking nothing, right? So, like, I have no choice. I literally have to put in a shit ton of effort to be on the same playing field of someone who's putting in half my effort, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure many of you are trying, but I don't think you understand how hard I'm trying. I don't think you understand how I intentionally make things as hard as possible for myself. Let's again make it clear. I am thinking about the box, thinking about the sphere inside the box, and thinking about the center lines inside the sphere inside the box. And when I say thinking, I mean I'm literally trying to visualize and project and constantly calculate it while I'm drawing, right? Like, I'm trying to see a perfect fucking sphere inside of this, which is so difficult, right? It's actually so difficult. And this box actually might be a bit incorrect as well, right? Like this bottom plane, it might be too long here. Yeah, because like if it's turned to because this is not a perfect cube then. Like, this is more of a perfect cube than this, because this should actually be a little bit cut off here. Because if this is turning away, right? I would believe that means... Actually, I don't know. I still don't know perspective that well. Like, there's a lot of things I don't know. But I'm just gonna keep trying. Fuck it, I'm literally just gonna keep trying. Right, but yeah, like, I'm putting in so much effort to be average. Right, like, the thing is, like, when you hear this, you might be like, oh, wow, okay, he's just thinking about that shit, whatever, it's not a big deal, right? If you're better than me at art, it's probably you don't even think about it, obviously. You know, or maybe if you're at the same level as me, you still don't think about it to this degree, right? Or maybe it doesn't cause you as much mental effort as it does for me. But I'm telling you, because I'm bottom of the barrel, I understand what it's like to fucking literally feel like my brain is about to give out and to chase that feeling. Because that's all I have is that feeling. That feeling is just a reinforcer that okay, you're trying, you know, and I fucking love that feeling, because that feeling tells me that nobody else is gonna try this hard. Therefore, nobody else is gonna get to the place that you will. By the way, I encourage every single one of you to try this hard. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just aware that nobody else is trying this hard. And if you are, wonderful. And if you're better than me, even better. There's a lot I can learn from you. Right, I'll never be ever. I will do my best to not be to be so egotistical to think that I know everything. But when I do know things, I will obviously state, you know, with confidence, as one should, that hey, I believe I know this thing. Right? Do I know it perfectly? Probably not. Can't know everything perfectly, right? But I like to. I like to do my best to stay humble, because humility is like the number one thing to learning, right? And there's a lot of people who think they're humble, but they're not, because if they get critiqued, they will falter, they will lash out, right? They will respond in many ways that is not appropriate when it comes to being a learner, right? You need to have a student's mindset. Literally, like with everything, you need to have a student's mindset, right? So that doesn't mean that you think less of yourself. You simply understand that you have a lot you don't know, and that's okay, and that's actually exciting, right? So let's see how much time we have left. 37 minutes? Okay, 37 minutes? I cannot speak there. But yeah, I really need to project this properly. I think this is slightly off. I can't tell which one's more accurate, this one or this one. They both seem... No, this one's a bit too much. This one's a bit too... Oh, it's like in between these. Yeah, the right box is... The right perspective is literally in between these, I believe. Yeah, it's like a very small nuance. You know, if this one's like this... Sorry. No, that is literally the right one, because this one's like more so this way, and this one is more so this way, right? This is the right way, I believe. Yeah, that's literally the fucking right box. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That is the right box. There you go. But yeah, gotta project a sphere inside that now, to the best of my ability. So let's just keep trying. Let's just keep trying, right? And keep trying to understand. That's all I can do. So just keep trying to see that fucking box. Sphere inside the box, the center lines inside the sphere, inside the box, right? I haven't gotten the center line correct once. This has been incorrect, right? This box ended up becoming more like this. Like that, right? Like this bottom plane became very, very, very shallow. This one basically was the exact same thing, right? Except the sphere was horrendous. Same with this. This one was a bit better, right? Yeah, this one, but this ended up becoming way too, yeah, what's it called? The vertical axis was tilted way too back, so this ended up becoming the center line, right? Like this was the contour that I ended up following for the sphere. So, and this I don't even want to talk about. That's just a fucking headache and a half, but slowly but surely, Oh, by the way, like this is also slightly incorrect. It should be tilted. There you go. Should be tilted. But either way, just trying to visualize, understand. See, like I keep doing the wrong tilt. Oh, sorry, the wrong vertical or horizontal ellipse center, right? It's actually really interesting if I think about it. No, that's wrong too. What the fuck am I doing? It's this. Wait, I'm actually confused now. Yeah, it's like this. Does that even make any sense? I don't think that makes any sense. This box is actually, this person's face's orientation is actually genuinely confusing me. I'm trying to analyze it a bit better. I'm pretty sure, okay, that's too much. I did way too much there, so it's more like this, right? Is it like that? Right? So like this. Is that the sphere? Right? I'm just trying to think. That probably doesn't make any sense to you. That's actually incorrect too, because I didn't put the sphere oriented correctly. I'm just trying to think. Because this is not one point perspective. It's like slightly off one point perspective too. This is the part of my drawing process, of the drawing process, of any drawing process, which will result in great proficiencies. Like I'm just constantly thinking and I'm trying to analyze. I'm not sure actually if what I did or what if I'm seeing makes sense. This is where trying to understand is pivotal, right? Because if that's what this is, and then it's going this way, then I'm just trying to think. That's the box. So is it like that? Right, is that my box instead? Actually, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. It's like this. And there you go. There's the minor axis too. Oh, fuck, I fucked that up. But yeah, there's the minor axis. That makes a lot more sense. So this is correct. I just needed this to be tilted. Alternatively. Yeah, there you go. This will obviously make a lot more sense when I start doing the Loomis head as well. Like we're doing the we're literally trying to dissect it while maintaining the box, right? Which is extremely difficult. But anyways, let's start visualizing and trying to make sense of it all while applying hard surface shapes. Well, I want to like make it less crowded because this is extremely crowded. Again, I have a tendency to just over detail the fuck out of everything. Right, I think that's just that's just quote unquote my style. And what is style? Decision making. So that's just something, that's a decision making affinity that I perhaps was born with, right? A proclivity of sorts, right? And so if that's the case, that does make more sense. Yeah, that does make more sense. So let's see. I'm still trying to wrap it around a sphere. So that means I must see the box as accurately as possible. Right? Yeah, there you go. That makes a lot more sense. I was seeing the completely wrong vertical center line, right? This contour. I was not creating the correct ellipse. But it's this. And then it's this. Right? So if you put them together, it's literally something like this. Which makes complete sense in perspective. Right? Makes complete sense in perspective. Ta-da! See? But again, me doing this may be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But unless you can do this, there's no fucking point of you looking at this. Not in the sense that, like, there's no point of you looking at this and being like, I get it. That's what I mean. There's obviously a point to being educated, right? Or at least, like, being exposed to information. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, yeah, there's no point of you there's anybody who's looking at this and says, oh yeah, that makes sense. Right now, you should be trying to do that at least 20 times, right? Because if it makes sense, you should be able to do it 20 times. You know, give or take a margin for 10% error. But that's only if it makes sense. And I'm gonna assume it doesn't. But anyways, I know I've been talking a bunch, but I have been trying to think. Right, so let's design. And I'm extremely uncomfortable right now, by the way, like, because I don't know what I'm gonna design. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Thinking is still very difficult, don't get me wrong. Right, thinking is... So did I do this correctly? No, this is still a bit too much. Now that I look at it, this is more like this. And then like that. Yeah, see? And we need this vertical line to be back, like so. So it's tilted a bit forward. There you go. That's what this is. This is tilted a bit forward. Yeah, and tilted a bit forward, and we still like the because it's tilted a bit forward, the bottom plane is less exposed. There you go. So we need to expose that there bottom plane. So maybe we should start from the bottom plane in order to expose it. There you go. Already fucking things up, I guess. I'm just trying to think. Again, trying to see that perspective a bit clearer. These are supposed to be like perspective lines that I'm basically creating. Right? So... there you go. We did something like that. And I'm just trying to think, like, how do I want these to be connected? Okay, hold up. I need to very clearly think about this. If that's the box, it should be something like that, actually. And then if this is my sphere, the bottom of my sphere, right? I should be seeing a relatively decent sphere. Center line. Let's try to get the center line going. Right. Something like this. Okay. We got a little bit of something going on here. Maybe we can even manipulate it like so, but the point is, I'm trying to think about, obviously, the sphere. And again, like, this is not exactly the orientation that I'm... No, okay, see, I can still orient this correctly. I can definitely still orient this correctly. We just need to have faith. Have faith, Arthur! Have faith! Good joke. There you go, something like that. Again, trying to really think about that box that this is attached to, and also the sphere. Right, also the sphere. Because the sphere is extremely important. Right, there you go. I've already gotten like a little bit of that sphere down. Should be a lot easier. Should be a lot easier, yes. But is it easy? No. But should be a lot easier, right? At least, hopefully, in terms of putting in the effort to visualize. I want to try something different. Let's see. First, I want to... Let's do something like... Okay, like I want to obviously try to fit something in here. I have been saying I'll do more unconventional. Nope. Oh, see, I fucked up the perspective. There it is. I fucked it up. It's wrong. It's still this. It's still this one. So that's good. Like, again, I can feel upset, but I would rather feel good. Because now I'm telling my brain, hey, we gotta start paying attention to this shit, man. Like, clearly I keep messing this up, so there's merit to understanding why this sort of error keeps occurring, right? But apart from that, let me think, yes. Apart from that, let me, there you go. I mean, just because I messed up doesn't mean this can't be a decent design, right? There's a lot that can be done. I just can't think of anything, but there is a lot, I'm sure, that could be done in the right skilled hands. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can have some sort of jutting out. Okay, let me really try to recall what I've seen in terms of designs. Well, I've definitely seen something like this, right? Where it juts out. So let me try. Let me try to create some semblance of a design. Oh, see, line quality suffering. But yeah, I've definitely seen something like this. And why don't we actually just try connecting that? And nothing really hurts about connecting it. And what I do here could very well not be the most impressive, but just trying to think about what I could do to make this design interesting. Like, what I'm thinking is like, okay, like we'll connect these shapes here, like this, these two will end up becoming part of the same plane, right? Like this shape. And now I could add maybe some sort of cylindrical cylindrical tubing that see, like, it's already uneven, but how am I gonna do this? Okay, well, I guess whilst I figure that out, yeah, there's a decent amount of unevenness occurring. Hold up, maybe I could do something like this. There you go. Does that make it a bit more even? Maybe. Okay, so just trying to think. Right, just kind of what could be done regarding this tubing that I've created. Because originally I wanted it to come through here, but I don't know if that's going to make any sense now. Like, I actually don't know, because originally I wanted to come through here, but what could it be attached? Actually, we could do something like this, right? It could literally be something like, it could actually just be something like this, which in turn, oh, fuck it, just could be, let's see, what's an interesting shape? I know that word is not, I don't like I say I don't like that word, but hey, interesting shape can be anything. There you go. See, we could just turn it into a little hinge, maybe, mechanism. Kind of works, kind of doesn't. Not really, doesn't really work. Right, but this is where I guess we just gotta believe in the heart of the cards. And just, okay, let's try curving it around here and then curving it around here. Right. I'm just trying to like maybe create some sort of perspective fuckery, really. Trying to create it all. Hopefully it makes sense. I don't think it does. Definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't. Trying to finish that sphere, but my god, it's pretty off now. It's pretty off now. There you go. I mean, I don't mind. It's a lot to think about, right? Perspective actually is pretty off now. Yeah, even if I do something like that, it's pretty off now. It's okay. It's what it is. Now let's just bring this back. Maybe have like an opening here. Same thing on the other hand. Other hand. There you go. Something like that. Yeah, that perspective is completely off. Like, completely off. You guys can already see that. But this is, again, this is just me trying my fucking best, right? And failing miserably. Consistently. And that's the beautiful part. Like, just consistent failure. There you go. Okay. Probably important to start. Yeah, definitely probably important to start looking at different, I guess, examples and just start copying them for my own sake, right? I'll probably do that on stream. After I finish my current imagination drawing, I'll probably actually start looking at what, or just copying designs for helmets, whether real life or Pinterest inspired, and then make them and then rotate them. That's probably gonna be the best bet. Okay, so how can I even though this is off perspective, how can I continue to try to keep this in perspective? Right, what can I do here? What can I do here? I'm just trying to think. What can attach to this? I mean, it could be something super simple like right? Little wires or some shit. That doesn't really look that good, does it? No idea. No idea. No idea. We'll leave it at that. I feel as if my brain just is having trouble ideating, which means that the perspective problem now has a design problem on top of it. So on top of layering visualizing 3 layers of perspective, we need to figure out how to problem solve better, right? And that just comes down to practicing ideation. So whether I do this consistently through the videos or if I do it on stream or whether I do it off stream, right? Or off video, off recording in general, and I do it just in my little sketchbook, right? I'll of course be transparent about it. Oh yeah, speaking of transparency, it's been 59 minutes, so I guess that's my session for the day. Just for transparency's sake, anybody who's heard of, if you haven't heard of Athoro, right? Athoro, Broken Draw / Tyrion talks about him all the time, right? He mentored Broken Draw. He's a really good artist, but he started something called the Challenge 52, which is literally just, simple forms and all that shit. There's like, just search up Challenge 52. Basically every week is for like a different type of fundamental. I don't think it should take weeks. I think honestly, just the first 2 weeks, which is primitive forms, or like the first 4 weeks, I think that in of itself should be people's most first year or two. But you know, I think Athoro also runs into the problem of forgetting how much work he put in for all these things. So like he's trying to literally, I do admire the challenge and what it's doing. I just think calling it, and challenge 52, a really nice catchy name, but like in my opinion, 52 weeks is not enough to learn any of those things proficiently. Like all together, you know, individually, yeah, a year is more than enough to learn all those things really pretty decently well. But yeah, this is basically it. This I'm just doing the first week. I'm doing hardcore mode, so it's like 500 boxes as 250 cylinders, right? So first it was just like it's all about line quality. I'm just trying to get the line quality to be decent. You know, same brush pen, right? And then here I'm now like trying to do variations for the boxes, and now it's just really going on trying to figure out variations. You can see like this, I made a horrible mistake with the perspective as well, trying to visualize really dynamic and trying to add it, or like trying to stack them. I even made a mistake because you're not supposed to do cutouts yet. These are just supposed to be normal boxes. But yeah, just for transparency's sake, this is the extra drawing I've been doing. Apart from my stream, if you go on part 42 to part 45, you'll see that I started a new drawing for imagination. But yeah, I mean, this was really difficult. As always, it was really difficult. I still struggle with proportion clearly, or like this. They're all different sizes. So just constant practice. That's all I can do, just constant practice, right? But nice. We've already done 5 reps today. Probably gonna be another 4 reps tomorrow, 3 to 4 reps, right? It seemed to be 2 reps per session, 2 to 3. I want to take my time. So yeah, I mean, like I couldn't think of anything for this one, but it's all good. It's just how it is. But yeah, with that being said, as always, I hope you enjoyed practicing and putting in a lot of effort, constantly visualizing, constantly working on everything you could, right? Grinding your brain. I hope your brain's really tired, because mine definitely is, right? And I consistently will strive to make my brain as tired as possible, as much as possible, right? So with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money.